everybody, I'm here to film this. I got this pump with my insurance. It's the first year's, the quiet expressions. I tried looking up reviews on this and everything, and there really wasn't a lot of reviews. There really wasn't. They had some, but they were like different models. They weren't the quiet ones. They have different ones. I'm guessing this is like a newer version. I really don't know, but um, they sent this to me, and I wanted to do just how I got it from my insurance for free, and I'll also be doing a review and everything. So, and an unboxing. So, what I did was when I was at the doctor, I asked because people had told me that I could get one free with my insurance. So I asked, and I asked him, and he goes, "Have you got your breast pump yet?" And I was like, "No, I haven't. I was actually about to ask you that." And he goes, "Well, you can go through like a medical supply store." And he said, he's like, the website is called Edge Park, and he gave me the name. He gave us everything, and then he was like, "You just go in there, you enter your insurance information, and they should be able to send you back." Like they'll be able to contact your insurance, they'll contact your doctor and see what pumps you qualify for or what's happening, what your insurance covers, what it doesn't, and then they'll ship it out to you. So we were like, okay, that sounds great. So me and my husband, we got home, we did it. And honestly, it was really easy, really fast. You just go on the website, and you have to put in your name, everything, all of that, your insurance, and then I have two. I have my insurance that I have from my husband's work. And then I got Medicaid because they had told me to get Medicaid to supply whatever my insurance doesn't cover. So after some time, we had done that. So we got that done. We entered it all into the computer. And then they ended up telling me that I could just pick a pump. And I was like, okay, that sounds great. So I ended up picking the Medela. And obviously, this is not the Medela, and you'll see why. But I ended up picking the Medela, and then they ended up going through all this stuff. They ended up calling me from Edge Park and telling me, "Hi, your insurance doesn't quite cover the Medela. You're gonna have to pick another one." And I was like, "Okay, that sounds good. Can you give me the options of what it does cover so I can just pick and look up those and just look at the reviews and see which one of those I want." So they were like, "Okay, yes, that sounds fine." They said the one it covered was this one and the Amida. So I was like, okay. So I was like, okay, well, let me look them up, and then I'll call back. I was like, okay, sounds good. So I went on the website, and I started looking up reviews and everything. YouTube, everywhere, looking up everywhere. And this one, they had some reviews for it, and a lot of people said that it was really good. But I couldn't find one for this exact one. The one that was like now quiet. All the other ones weren't the quiet expressions. So I was like, okay, well, we'll see. I ended up going with the Amida. I called them back, told them I wanted to go with the Amida, and they were like, okay, that sounds good. And then just because there was a lot more reviews on it, I guess, and I don't know, there were so many more reviews on it, so I kind of just assumed that more people had it. And I was just like, okay, that sounds fine. And the lady was like, okay, yes. And she's like, okay, so I'll put the order in for the Amida. Okay, sounds good. They call me back a couple days later, and the guy's like, sorry, sir. The guy's like, oh, sorry, ma'am. I need you to pick another one. I was like, what do you mean? Like, I did. I called back, and then I called back. I was like, okay, fine. So I called, and I was like, wait. So I called back, and I was like, can you tell me the two that cover the two breast pumps that my insurance covers? He's like, okay, sure. He looks it up, and he's like, it's the Amida and the first year. So I'm like, okay, that's great. Give me the Amida. Oh, that was great. And then they end up calling me back. They end up shipping what I thought would be the Amida. So he's like, okay, it should be there. Sure enough, I got the confirmation that it shipped like 2 days later. It was here the next day. It was so fast. I'm like, that is just amazing that everything just got here so fast. I was like, yay, my pump. I opened the box, and it's this one. And I was like, this isn't the Amida. I don't know if they messed up. I know that this was one that I qualified for, but it wasn't the one I had told them I wanted. So I started freaking out. I was like, I'm not going to open it. I'm not going to do anything. Like, I literally just opened the brown box, pulled this out, and I was like, this isn't it. So I was like, okay. So I called back the insurance company, and I was like, I don't know what happens. Like, I didn't open it. I didn't do anything, because if you open it, I know that there's a chance that if you open it, they won't return it for you. And sure enough, today, I got this thing. I was looking at it, and it said, It says product return policy. And it says, like, I guess if this seal's broken or something, you can't return it. So I was just like, oh my gosh, it's a good thing I didn't return it. I was like, okay, I'm just going to leave it. I called my insurance, and then I told her what happened. They sent me this one. This isn't the one I asked for. Is it the only one I can get? Because I've seen things about it, and I know it's a good pump. I just want to know why they didn't send the other one. So basically they were just like, oh, it's because your insurance wouldn't cover it. And I was like, my insurance wouldn't cover it? Like, what do you mean? Like, I called a couple times and I asked which ones they did cover, and they told me the other two. This one and the Amita. And now they're saying, how are you saying that now it doesn't cover it? And she's like, it's weird, it just says here, it said something like, it didn't say denied, it said something like it said something like excluded, or it said something like that. And I was like, okay. And I was like, so did you guys mean to send me this one? I was like, I don't want to open it if you guys didn't mean to send it to me, and I'm gonna have to send it back, and something's gonna happen. So they were just like, okay. They were like, yes, ma'am, it says here, it's this one, it qualifies. Everything's fine. They attached like a paper to the side of the box. The paper you just sign and you send it back. But they didn't give me like, how do I say this? They didn't give me like a return envelope. They didn't give me anything. So I was like, okay, there's papers there. Like, what do I do with them? And she's like, you're supposed to just sign them and send them back. I was like, but there's no return envelope. Like, is there something? She's like, what do you mean there's no return envelope? I'm like, there isn't one. Like, in there. It was just papers folded, and that's it. Like, there was no envelope. And she's like, that is so strange. And she was like, that's so strange. She goes, well, you can go online and fill out the paperwork, the thing. I was like, okay, well, that sounds great. So, yeah, all that happened. Now I can actually open my pump. I'm actually, like, excited to open it because we went to the doctor, and the doctor told us that she could come anytime now. So, we're really excited. But I just wanted to share with you guys how you can get it from your insurance. I know that Edge Park is a really good company. Like, besides them not covering the whole insurance thing, I know it has nothing to do with the company, but what insurances basically do, or how they explain to me, is that the company has certain contracts with the insurance companies, and the insurance companies, they work with the supply stores, with the Edge Park, like say Edge Park, but there's other ones. They work with them, and only certain of them cover certain pumps. Like, I have Atna, something like that. I have that one. They only cover a breast pump on Edge Park if your baby's in NICU. That's what they told me. They were like, call. I was like, okay. So I called my insurance company to tell them what's happening. Like, and why aren't you covering it? Like, is there a certain reason that you're not covering the Medela one, or like a certain breast pump, or why you're not covering any breast pump for me? And they basically said that they only cover breast pumps if your baby is in NICU. Because I know that some people say, like, well, it's known that your body should be able to equip everything and supply everything that your baby needs, as in milk and everything. So they believe that they're not, like, I guess they're not going to give you a pump unless your baby's in NICU and that you need to be pumping, that you can't be there with your child. I'm guessing that's their whole thing. But so I was like, okay, so you're not going to cover anything. She goes, no, unless your baby's already in NICU, then we'll cover it. I'm like, well, she's not born yet, so I kind of don't know. Like, I guess I could have waited, but then I didn't want to wait and then have to, like, be, like, figuring it out or renting one till, like, I got one from Aetna, and then still not know if they're going to ship me the one that I want or ship me anything, basically. So I was just like, okay, that's fine. And then when I called back the company and I told them, like, what happened, they were just like, oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. And then they said that basically that they used the Medicaid one to get this one. And I was like, oh, wow. Like, I didn't know that was like a, because I have Medicaid, but it's like a different, kind of like a branch. I don't know. It's like it's under like a different, like a company name, I guess, or the group that you go to. So they were able to cover for me and send it to me. So I was like, okay, that's great. So for anybody that actually wants to get one from the insurance, when you go to your doctor's appointment, go and ask them if you have insurance, if you have Medicaid, if you have anything, just go in there and ask them. I wanted to see if there was a way that I can get a breast pump from my insurance company. Because me and my husband were going to go buy one. We wanted to go buy the Medela one. We really were going to buy it. Then when they told us this, we were like, oh, okay, well, we'll try it. When they sent us this one, I kind of heard that This one's really good. The only thing that it might not be so strong, depending on my body and how everything is, it might not be so strong for me. That some people say it works really good, and it works better than some other pumps that are like really good brands. But the thing is that they said that just depending on your body and how much milk is coming out, it just depends if this pump will be sufficient enough for you. So I was like, okay, well, I'll try it, and if not, me and my husband will just go buy one, and then I'll have this one, like, as a carry one, like, in the car, or if I'm going somewhere at my mother-in-law's house, like, I can just have this somewhere else. So I was like, okay, that sounds great. I was really excited because I really wanted one, and I really needed one. So I was like, okay, that's fine. So if you want to do that, just go to your doctor, ask them if they can, if there's like a certain doctor's offices have their own, or refer to their own website, refer to their own supply company that's like in your area. So when you go to the doctor, just simply say, hi, I wanted to see if I could get a breast pump. I wanted to see if my insurance would cover a breast pump. And they should be able to give you the information. And they'll say, I don't know, call your insurance. Some people say, I don't know, call your insurance. Or they'll be like, do you know any supply companies that you guys work with? And they should be able to tell you. And if they say no, call your insurance company, then you just go ahead, call your insurance company. The number is the one on the back and of the card. You call them and you'll be able to tell them, like, hi, I wanted to see what I needed to do to qualify, if you guys would be able to supply me with a breast pump. And they'll tell you the rules, the guidelines, certain things that you should do. Because even when we went to our birthing classes at the hospital, the lady said that if we didn't have a breast pump and when we showed up, they could get us one through our insurance. Like, they would run our insurance and they would be able to supply us one. So we were like, oh my gosh, like, this whole time we could have just waited. And I was like, because I had really originally wanted the Modelo, I was like, this whole time I could have originally waited and seen if I could get like one of those like hospital grade ones. And she was like, yeah, it just depends. And one of the girls in the class was like, well, I have Aetna, like, do you think it would cover it? And she's like, you know what, I honestly don't know. And she was like, I woke up and I was like, actually, I called them and they said that it doesn't cover it unless your baby's in NICU. So she was like, what? And the nurse was like, really? She's like, well, that's strange. She goes, but that some companies are like that. So it all depends, depending on what insurance you have. Just call them and see what their restrictions are when getting a breast pump. And I know that if this is like not your first child, there's like a certain time frame that you have to wait before you can order another breast pump. Like, say for your last child you had one or you ordered one, there's a certain time frame, and I don't quite remember the time frame, but I know there's a certain time frame that you have to wait before you can reorder another one. So I thought that was pretty cool. Just go to your doctor, mention to them about wanting to get a free breast pump, and they should be able to give you all the information. Call the back of your insurance company and ask for a supply store, or ask the hospital actually the hospital might be able to help you when you deliver. But if you wanted to do it before that, when you go to your doctor, ask them for a supply company, what supply companies that they work for, and they should be able to tell you. If your insurance is like an amazing insurance, not that insurances aren't amazing, but if you have one of those insurances that basically cover everything, because I know there's insurance companies that cover everything. Mine's through my husband's work, and it covers a lot. But they have certain restrictions on things like this, and on certain things that are optional. So for them, it's one of those things that you have to go call and ask personally what it covers and what it doesn't. So whenever you go, just call, ask them what it covers, what they need. Some parents, you can't do it. Sometimes you can't even order. Some companies won't let you order a breast pump until you're, I believe, 3 months before your due date or a month before your due date. There's different guidelines that you have to follow, and every company has their certain guidelines. So just please, if you really want to get one, which I highly recommend, I know sometimes it's not so easy to go spend $100 to $400 on a breast pump, and if you can easily find ways to get one. I know people sell some online, but some people don't want to for sanitary purposes. For different reasons, they don't want to get them online. This is a way to really help you out, at least to at least get the experience with the breast pump. This is our first child, so I've never had a breast pump before. I've never worked with them before. I've never used them before, so this will be my first time. So I really wanted to get one kind of in advance and be able to try it out and see and practice with it. Well, not on myself, but turn it on, see, get used to it. So when the baby came, I knew what I was doing, and I wouldn't be stressing with my baby crying and me trying to figure everything out. So definitely try that with your insurance company and see what they cover, see what they can do for you, and see, and if not, I'm sure that Medicaid could also help you with it. I heard that for people that have WIC, that they also help you with that. I really don't know anything about that, but I heard that they could also help you with that. I know there's companies that rent breast pumps, but if you have insurance and you're paying for your insurance and they can help you with it, then by all means try that, since you're already technically paying for it. And I know insurance is not cheap, so if you have one, just do that. They bill everything to your insurance company. The thing is that this pump is, I want to say it's a little less than 100, or it's 100 or something like that, that when they do bill your company, they do overbill, obviously. It shouldn't be like an obviously thing, but when they're billing insurance companies, they do overbill. I think I saw that they were charging the insurance company like 200 something for this pump, and I know it's not a 200 something dollar pump, but it's the convenience of having it delivered to your door and all that, that I'm sure, and going through them and having them do it all is what's what they're charging you more for. So yes, if you really do want a pump, I do highly recommend you do that. Edge Park worked so amazing. So if Edge Park is in your area, they deliver so fast, so fast. The customer service is like really good help. I don't know why it got the whole mix up about the two pumps though, but I wouldn't completely trash the company because of that. Just because maybe it was my insurance, maybe one said, oh yeah, we'll cover it, and then they realized that I wasn't even, or my baby wasn't even born yet, so they canceled that one out. And this is just like a before pump, unless my baby highly needs like a stronger pump, then my my other insurance will cover it. But I do recommend going to your doctor, asking them all those questions, and seeing if you can get it. And if not, you can apply at edgepark.com. Enter your information, enter your name, everything. They'll ask you for your doctors. You have to put your doctor's information and then your insurance company. And then they'll get back to you like in an email telling you, yes, you qualify, pick a pump. And that's basically it. You pick a pump, put in your address, and they ship it to you. And then they'll send a form to your insurance company. They'll send a form to your doctor's company. And they'll sign it, and then you get your pump delivered to your door, like literally in days. It was like 2 days later, and she was already here. So if you have any questions, just please write them down in the comments and let us know. We really are excited to use this. As I said, they let us know recently that our baby could come anytime now. So now we really got to get to opening this baby and reviewing it and seeing what it's like and trying it and seeing if it's so complicated to figure it out, because if it is, then I'm going to have to start reading the manual and seeing it. But we'll see how all of this works. I am going to do another video right now after this, opening it. So if you are interested in seeing that, I will post that right after this. But I really wanted to do how to get the free insurance from your insurance company, just because I know that that is really a tough thing right now. And sometimes, you know, people don't have the money to be dropping on things like that, especially when you got to buy a crib and a changing table. And so many things are coming up for the baby, that the breast pump is one of those things that it's so expensive. So to be able to find a way and have your insurance that you're already paying for cover it is truly like a blessing. So if you can, I would highly suggest it. So thank you guys so much for watching. And like I said, I'm going to be opening it right now in another video right now after this. But yeah, I think that's about it. If you guys have any questions, please let me know in the comments. Thank you so much.